Welcome back, Golan-globus Theater. This is just another
or is it
week.
Golan-globus Theater? I don't know. I'm having what's real, what's fake.
What is real? What is not fake? If you're going to be doing a movie based on a PKD novel, you should have some memory issues going on. I have plenty
memory
of
episode.
them.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
That's what I figured out what my problem is. I just have non-total recall.
You have non-total recall.
I went to recall and they fucked my brain up.
Oh my God.
I had schizoid embolism.
A schizoid embolism. I love how they throw that word around nonstop. Fantastic. Murray, give us a little background on that song there, because this.
It's just Hey, Mullins, if you're listening, I know you love those novelty bands. This is a band called Austrian Death Machine who just do songs about Schwarzenegger. Movies,
various character,
yeah, and I think it's one of those it's a side project of one of those 2000 metal bands, which I don't like. I don't know what it's not emo. I don't know what, but whatever's going on in the 2000s for metal.
New metal?
No, I would say it's
that wasn't new metal for sure.
No, it's kind of like whatever happened in the aughts, whatever that decade, first. That's what was going on. It's that guy. I want to say the guy who does this. I think he hired a guy to kill his wife, and he went to prison.
Oh shit! Okay,
she didn't die, but he was hired. He got busted hiring.
I feel like I heard about. Maybe
I think that's the guy. I don't know because I don't know. I stopped listening to music in 1992, so I don't know.
Smart. 2 years after this movie came out,
right.
You were done with music.
Speaking of music, I was really irked by the theme to this. It's such a ripoff of the Conan fucking song.
I didn't even notice.
I noticed. I love the Conan one, and I was like, "Where did this motherfucker get off?" So I didn't like that.
Hey, music wasn't a forte.
Griff, I did see this one in the theaters.
You
Schwarzenegger's my guy.
Schwarzenegger, of course,
I saw
is your guy.
every '80s Schwarzenegger movie in the theater, but Conan the Barbarian because I was too young for that.
Too young, okay.
But,
and it's hard to get your mom to take you to a fantasy movie, sci-fi movie.
Yeah, my mom's a sci-fi nerd.
Yeah.
So if it's got a Vulcan in it, she'll watch it.
Anyone with some weird ears in a spaceship, she is there.
Exactly.
I wish you would have gotten your mom's feelings on this movie because
she probably wouldn't even remember it.
She's got total recall.
Nobody has
non-total recall too.
It's a family trait.
Oh no, that's
what's a 30-year-old movie? Come on,
right?
This is the first time I've seen this movie all the way through in 30 years.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I actually watched this movie. I don't remember when the last time I watched this movie, but it might have been around the time because a dear friend of ours gave it to me and gave me the collection of short stories that this was based on. Because Murray, which is the cooler title? Total Recall or We Can Remember It For You Wholesale?
The last one is more clever, but I think if you're selling action movie, you can't
do that. Yeah.
It's like Blade Runner, and then do Electric Sheep Dream? Do Electric Sheep Dream of or something like that?
Do Electric Sheep Dream? I don't remember the name of it.
Do robots dream of electric sheep? Or something like that?
I think that was it. I have a beautiful the comic version of it. I got that, but it's stowed away. I actually don't have that novel. I have 17. And then my short story collection, PKD novels.
You love Dick. We know that.
I love the Dick. And, of course, this is Philip K. Dick. We Can Remember For You Wholesale. This is, of course, a short story.
Very short, according to you.
Yes. I'll give you the broad strokes here. This is maybe 15 pages. So, Quaid has a boring desk job. He's not a fucking miner.
Construction worker.
Yeah, construction worker.
Jackhammerer.
Yep. But, you'll see the movie.
What was he doing? It was like he was just in a gravel pit, jackhammering.
It was just a way to flex.
Exactly.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
That's all it is. And then they had to shoehorn Harry into it. A guy who
poor man's Danny DeVito.
Exactly. So he's got a boring desk job. He's thinking about Mars and all that bullshit. But he goes to recall because he's like, I want to go to Mars. I gotta go to Mars. And so he goes there. They have the schizoid embolism, and they're like, fuck, we got to get rid of this guy. So, of course, they give him half his money and try to erase all the memories, dump him into a cab. And it's in the cab going back home that he's like, he actually remembers.
Is it a Johnny cab?
It is not a Johnny cab. You mean a John DeHart cab?
Johnny DeHart cab.
Johnny DeHart cab? Yeah. It is not. They don't have a name for it, I don't believe. So he's driving back, but he remembers going to recall. So he goes back home. There's no fight with the coworker Harry. He just gets right back home, and he's just really caught on, he's in a fog now, and he goes through his desk where he finds a box, and there's some kind of weird illegal Mars fauna, and that like triggers his memories. And so he gets into a fight with his wife, and again about Mars and everything. So she just like walks out on him, and as she's walking out, these agents come in to fight him because he's got a what do they call it? I should remember this, but it's been a while since I read a Philip K. Dick book. Telepathic telecommunicator in his brain, which we do get to see. And so as he is confronted by these agents, he starts to remember his past life. He starts getting total recall. And so he beats the shit out of the people, but then he's like, what the fuck do I do now? And through that telepathic communicator, his old commander chirps in. He's like, hey, what's up, bud? What's going on? I see you've murdered some people. I can help you out. And so they're like talking over what his next move's going to be. And Quaid suggests, why don't I just go have total recall again? He's like, you know what? Yeah, why don't you? So they meet up. He's going to get total recall again. And they ask him, what kind of fantasy are we going to implant? Because we see it in this movie too. It's like you can choose what to implant. And so he's like, I have this dream where this small rodent-like alien race comes to Earth, and I befriend them. They're super superior in technology, and they're going to blow up the Earth, but my friendship endears them to us. So while I'm alive, they won't blow up the planet. And so they're like, that's fucking really narcissistic, but whatever, we'll do it. And so they're like going to implant it, and then they realize this is real life. There's really a rodent alien race on Earth that was going to explode it that will explode it after he dies. So that's it.
So you'd say like a common theme with Philip K. Dick is like, what is reality? What is fantasy?
100%.
Am I real? Am I fake?
100%. Like,
okay.
He's got a few. I think one of the few movies he has out there that might not be 100% like that is, I think he did Screamers was based on one of his. I haven't seen that. But a lot of his works are very much, who the fuck am I? Is this a dream? He loves
Yes,
doing
the big
kind of
questions
shit.
in life. Why are we here?
He liked to do a robot identity stuff, again, with Blade Runner. It's like that was the whole thing of that, Wait, wasn't the AI aware that they were AI?
Yes, they were aware.
Okay. It's been a while.
Well, if you believe Harrison Ford was a replicant, then he didn't know. That's always the thing.
Was that a thing?
Was he or wasn't he? I think the consensus is he was a replicant.
Really?
Yes.
I never got that. I've watched it, but I've never really studied it like that, I guess. And I've never read the book either.
I want to point out, too, this is like a really star-studded movie as far as you got Paul Verhoeven directing it, the classic RoboCop.
Yeah.
Hot off of RoboCop when he's doing this. He did Starship Troopers, too. And we got Rob Bottin doing the special effects, the guy who did the Thing special effects and the Howling special effects.
That makes sense. A great practical effect.
The fucking people in Mars were great. Those puppets.
Oh my god, there's this movie just endeared the fuck out of me. It's been a while since I saw it, and as I was watching, I was just like, this is what I fucking love in sci-fi. I don't like the sleek shit. I like this industrial, like, we're just pounding it out,
Yeah,
boring.
I agree with you. I don't like. That's one of the things that kind of turns me off about a lot of science fiction. It's very sterile.
Yeah,
very antiseptic. I guess I don't know what I'm.
That's
saying.
what I don't like about Westworld and that kind of shit.
Right,
It's
it
just
looks like an Apple store, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it just looks like
It doesn't look lived in.
Yeah. And everything about this, especially Mars, just felt like it had that blue collar, we're just trying to huff it out kind of bullshit.
Right, because that's what it would be, because these are just asshole, like, miners, like, they're like oil people. They're like, do it as cheap as possible.
Yes. Even the cars reminded me of it. It's if fucking the South African Tesla guy was able, Elon Musk was able to go to Mars and colonize it. This would be him.
He probably is using this as a blueprint.
He might be. I mean, look at the cars that are in there, and look at that truck he fucking displayed.
Elon Cohagen?
Yeah, he definitely stole the fucking idea for the cars from this movie. 100%. Next thing you know, with his robot cars, he's like, yeah, I put these guys in there called Benny Be Goods, and they're going to be the drivers for his automatic cars.
That sounds great.
Oh, I'm going to love that future.
Even better, Griff? The trailer for this movie. Everybody, sit back inject yourself with something.
Implant yourself with something?
Implant yourself with something. Plant yourself with this great trailer for Total Recall.
Arrest that woman!
Quaid.
Cut.
Get ready for a surprise!
We can't let him run around. He knows too much. They've got your bug.
I got a lock. There!
And the bug's in your skull.
Take this thing out of the case and stick it up your nose. Don't worry, it's self-guiding.
Got him.
I lost him.
Welcome to Mars.
You got a lot of nerve showing your face around here.
Look who's talking.
They erased your identity and implanted a new one.
If I'm not me, who the hell am I?
He's got a hologram!
Welcome to Johnny Cab.
Drive!
Where can I take you tonight? Please fasten your seatbelt. I want Quaid delivered alive for reimplantation.
That's for making me come to Mars. You wouldn't hurt me. After all, we're married.
Consider that a divorce.
We hope you enjoyed the ride.
All right, welcome back. Now that that trailer has been implanted, let's implant your brain for the next 4.5 hours or however long it takes us to get through this whole beautiful film.
If we have to start, we're at Mars.
Red Planet. This is just like how, the trope with Mexico is it's foggy, whenever they do modern, like when Breaking Bad would go down to Mexico, it somehow had a haze on it.
It's a filthy country.
Mars has always got to be like super, super red, but I doubt it. Maybe it would look like that. I don't know.
Well, that's red.
Okay. I'm not an astronaut.
I have no idea what
I'm not a part of...
I don't know what the sky would be. Does Mars have an atmosphere?
I don't think it does.
Because I would think if you don't, it would just be like space.
This is a question for our newest post in the military, Space Force, which just...
The Guardians?
The Guardians. The units are going to be called Guardians.
Of our galaxy?
Oh, my God. I love it. And you even had the perfect you set it up perfectly. Trump was probably working with some kind of investors who wanted to label it that
just
way.
Some ad agency has nothing to do with it.
And you know he's going to take 100% credit for that because he loves that shit. Just like when he was like, we're redesigning the plane. And he had all these cutouts of planes. And he's like, look at the planes. He's so stupid. I'm sorry, Mars.
We're on Mars. We see our hero. I want to say Dennis Quaid for a second. Douglas Quaid.
I know. I have a hard time. Quaid.
And a very mysterious Latin woman. And they're in spacesuits. And they're just walking around on the surface of Mars.
Enjoying they're going on a hike. Yeah. Mars is just a beautiful place to hike.
And Schwarzenegger's just not looking where he's going. So he slips. And he falls. And he busts open the faceplate of his spacesuit.
Yeah, and we start to see his face bulging up.
We get that great Rob Bottin practical effects.
Oh, it's so good.
Eyes just bugging.
Teaching us
tongue shooting out.
Teaching us that, in fact, Mars is not terraformed yet completely.
Yes, you cannot breathe on Mars.
You cannot breathe. Even in this, Murray, again, we're supposed to be in the future, so you don't know. It's setting that rule for you.
Well, why would you be wearing a spacesuit if you could?
It's a good point.
It's like that one. It was one of those last Alien movies where they land on a planet and they have their spacesuits, and this guy just like, it looks like there's an atmosphere here, and just takes off his fucking helmet.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta.
And it's like, hey, it was.
I think you gotta teach the audience.
So we're like, holy shit, Schwarzenegger's gonna die in the first 2 minutes of the movie?
That's crazy. What are they gonna do? Total Recall his brain into a shell or something?
No, what they're gonna do is, it was a nightmare, Chris.
Oh man.
And at the end, he wakes up to a dream because he's got the sexy Sharon Stone lying in bed right now. Schwarzenegger completely buck-ass naked.
Yeah.
He's got a little sheet over his junk.
Just a little sheet.
And she's wearing like a slip kind of thing.
Yeah, some kind of negligee or something. It was lacy a bit, and then there was a tiny little fucking thing holding the breasts in.
Right. And she's like, what's the matter? Is that dream again?
It had to be that dream again.
And he's like, it was the dream. Was it the brunette? Is it the brunette again?
Apparently, I don't know why you would tell your spouse about this.
There was this super hot girl in the dream. You would, oh my God.
You know the
way
girl,
hotter than you.
You know how I always describe my perfect woman, A41? That's what I'm thinking
sleazy, but yet demure.
Athletic build. You're a little too skinny for me.
And so that pisses her off because, women, like, they don't want to be treated like that. And he's like, come on, I'm just fooling with you.
I just play a joke.
And then she exposes a little to cleave. They wanted her to go naked, Griff, but she's like, no, I don't think so. But I will show my vagina in your next movie in Basic Instinct.
It was a very tasteful nip slip that happens here because
there?
I
didn't have the laser disc for this one. So I couldn't go enhance. Slow down.
Yeah.
Back 2 frames.
I love the voice controls. I hate all the fucking voice controls we have in real life, but the Laserdisc voice control is
right.
perfection.
It's like another Philip K. Dick story, Blade Runner, where he wanted to like enhance. The picture would enhance.
It's perfection. So yeah, she's like all of a sudden playful, and it's like, oh my God, this. I'll store this in the memory bank. I'll totally recall this later because this seems to be a type that he's into.
Right.
So after a nice morning fuck, the old wake and fuck. I don't know what they call it.
Wake and fuck, yeah, that's what we call it.
He goes in, Doug goes into the kitchen. He's got to prepare his Boz breakfast.
Yeah, that protein shake.
Got to make the protein shake.
You got to keep those muscles up, dude.
You do. So he's pouring. He's got almonds, pecans. Those two combined, that's like 84 grams of protein right there.
Gotta have the kale.
God had that special K in there. Well, no, that's a drug. Kale, just the normal kale.
That's what I call
maybe dinosaur kale. So he's mixing all that together with some nice oatmeal, and he's got like a fucking half gallon of it, and he's just pouring it into like a tiny little juice glass, and he sits down. And again, this is another thing I love about the future we're seeing here, is it looks basic as fuck.
Right.
The one thing that's cool and
nobody decorates their houses in the future.
Yeah.
It's all just bare walls.
Well, no one really decorates their... I've been into a lot of houses. Most people decorate it the exact same way. So this was very fitting for me. But the one thing that's super advanced that we finally get to see, the wall is a TV now. Like the wall is panels where it can be turned on and like you can do multiple panels. That's our electronics, man. Our toys is what advances the
we
quickest.
wouldn't have that if it wasn't for this movie.
Exactly.
So we're getting a news story, and it's about what's going on in Mars. There's these fucking guerrilla extremists. They're trying. We're mining for what's the turbinium.
Yeah,
they never tell us what it does, why we need it, but we really need turbinium.
Turbinium. Well, I think it was because that's what allowed them to breathe. That was what they were creating oxygen with, like Freon for cold.
What's the point of being on Mars at all if you have to mine just to breathe?
Well, Earth is getting fucked, Murray. We're fucking Earth.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. They never mentioned.
We got to go colonize Mars.
So, and we see our hero, our villain, Cohagen, played by Ronnie Cox, who played the exact same character, Dick Jones, in RoboCop. And he's like, he's the head of the mining for Turbinium Company, and they found an ancient pyramid with ancient alien artifacts, and this is getting the mutants of Mars all riled up. So they're interfering with the mining. He's like, the mining will go on. I don't care. We will not back down on these terrorists.
And so we see Lori come into the picture. She's getting all, getting her hair back up, put on her sweet robe after all that nice morning fucking wake and fuck. And she's like, can we stop it with the Mars? This is why you're having these crazy dreams. So she turns it off.
Yeah, he's like wrapped. He's just staring at that screen.
He's sitting an inch away from it, too, because it's on the wall next to the table he's sitting at. So he's like, yeah, interesting. But she turns it to nice scenery, and he's like, why don't we do it? Let's go to Mars.
Fuck this country.
Mars.
Fuck this planet.
Yeah.
Mars is the future. And she's like, no. You see what the fucking atmosphere does in my hair? No, I'm not going to Mars.
Yeah, it's just fucking dusty. You don't like dust. There's cats everywhere. You don't like cats.
You're like Anakin Skywalker. You don't like dust.
Yep.
You like dirt. And he's like, okay, well, I just go to work.
I just go to work.
So he hops on the subway.
Yep.
Because we all use mass transit now.
Yeah.
In the future.
I appreciate that.
And he goes to his construction worker job.
Yep. On the way there, they've got like the giant TVs embedded into the subway, like the rails.
which we kind of have now.
Kind of, yeah. And he sees a commercial for Recall Incorporated.
Yeah, Recall. Recall.
Yeah, Recall.
You can't copyright the word recall.
Recall. Yeah, exactly.
And he's learning, like, yeah, if you want to go to Mars, go in your head. You don't have to leave the planet.
Baby, just go in your brain. It's perfect. It's cheaper. It's better. And we'll make you a mug or something, souvenir.
And he's like intrigued. And he's like, well, here's my stop. So he gets off.
Yep.
Starts jackhammering some rocks. I guess that's his job. He just jackhammers rocks with his buddy Harry, who they couldn't afford a Danny DeVito, so he had to get the next best thing.
Yeah.
And he's like, Harry, what do you think of Recall? Like, that shit'll fuck your mind up.
My friend Louie was over there at the Recall 2 years ago, and he wanted to go over to Saturn. He wanted to travel the moons. And you know what happened? Fucked his brain. Total lobotomy. He's dumb now. He eats potatoes raw.
Don't fuck with that shit, Quaid. I'm telling you. It'll fuck you up.
It'll fuck you up.
And he just kind of blows it off.
I love it because he nods like, huh, okay. And then we cut to Doug.
That was a polite nod. Like, he was like, shut up, Harry. You don't know anything. Harry's probably drunk.
Harry has replaced his father or something. So it's like, yeah, Dad, I'm going to do what you tell me to do.
Yeah,
so,
immediately next scene, he's at Recall.
Yep. And again, not like a super touch screen. It's just clunky computer with a keyboard in it. He has to type in Recall Industries Incorporated.
We see the secretary. She's just changing her fingernails.
This is
magically.
cool. I like this because, again, nothing about this really felt too into the future. And then you see her touching her nails and switching the color. Pretty cool. That was the first touch.
And then he's like, I'm here to see Bob McLean. And she's like, oh, he'll be with you. And he comes out, and Bob just gives him the hard sell immediately.
Man, I wonder what Taffy thinks of his suit.
Big and
Because I saw it, and I was like, I wonder what Taffy's got to say about that.
So, he's like, hey, Saturn. That's where losers go to Mars.
Yeah.
Saturn.
Doug comes in, he's immediately like, Mars, Mars, Mars! And he's like, if you want the outer space experience, you got to go to Saturn. And so he's like, my friend told me about this guy who went to Saturn. Lobotomy.
But look, it's only $8.99 credits for 2 whole weeks.
Yeah. So why worry about a lobotomy when it's only $899?
It's perfectly safe.
Can't afford not to do it.
Perfectly safe. And he's like, no, I'm going to Mars. He's like, all right, you're going to Mars. So that's only 300 credits. So you made a good choice.
No, it was still 800. The 300 comes into play when he says, you know what's the same about every vacation you've ever been on?
Oh, yeah.
He thinks about it for one whole second. He goes, I give up. He's just got no time for jokes. He's like, I need to go to Mars in my mind right now. He goes, you and your boring self. You're walking and you're gonna get sunburned. You're gonna eat something that doesn't agree with you on Mars.
Drink the water. You're gonna have the runs.
Exactly. So why don't you take a vacation from yourself? No packages. No, just let me get in. It's like when you go to get an oil change and they're like, you know what, your mirror needs buffing. That'll be $45. He's just like, I don't want any packages. And he's like, but you got to look at this. You could be Elon Musk. You could be Joey Epstein.
Joey Epstein.
Wait, what's his name?
I don't know who you're talking about.
Ronald Epstein?
Jeffrey Epstein.
Jeffrey Epstein.
What, molest children?
Billionaire playboy. They didn't know about this then.
That could be a way to, like, fix pedophiles. You just do the recall thing.
There we go. And then the last option, secret agent.
Secret agent man.
And Doug sees that on the screen. He's like, that, I want that.
Awful fucking 1990 graphics on that computer.
Man. He didn't have that many options back then.
And he's like, that's it. A secret agent. And that's the extra 300.
That's the extra 300.
And he's like, so they strap him in the machine. They're like, before we go, pick your pussy. What do you like? And they got this whole screen. It's got even this was cheap looking. It was like the heads they use for wigs. Like they couldn't just put like a woman's face with like different colored hair.
I know that was the worst effect ever.
And it was like Halloween USA wigs. They weren't even good wigs.
Yeah, it looked like Chia Pets, you know.
And he's like, oh, I want brunette. And well, first they're like, What's your sexual orientation?
Yeah.
Hetero!
This is Dr. Lowell has come into the room with her nerd assistant, and the nerd.
Of course, it's got to be a nerd assistant.
It's got to be. And he's like, "Don't worry, we don't fuck up that often." That was literally what he tells him as he's like getting ready to have his brain fucked with.
You want to hear some guy swearing and telling you we might mess up.
And Dr. Lowell's the one who's like, "All right, we're gonna pick some things out. Be honest, or you're not gonna have a very good time." And she's the one who tells him, "Pick the puss."
So he picks brunette, athletic, and this is what I found odd. Can you be sleazy and demure at the same time?
He's drifting off at this point, and we see like the 3D wireframe model adjusting to the frame and everything, and then he's just like sleazy, and he's wheezing now, demure, reaching out for it.
Which I don't know. Maybe I don't know the meaning of these words. I thought they're the total opposites. I thought sleazy and demure were different
I had to look
things.
up demure. I was like, wait, is he just saying things? Is this Arnold riffing? And I mean, it could be one of those things where it's like in public she's demure, but when she gets home, she's a sleaze.
Okay,
you know?
I get that.
All right.
So he's drifting off to.
Well, what's interesting is we get to see the selection of women. It goes A41. And A4, we've been hearing about A41.
It's that woman from the dream he had in the beginning of the movie.
How? By answering 4 questions, he managed to narrow it down to the exact woman of his dreams. Fascinating.
So he goes off to nighty-night, and we see our man Bob selling some kind of sex thing to a woman. He's like a muscle dude on the screen.
I know what was with that. What was with the beef footage just on the screen? It was just zoomed in on his
back.
back.
And you know it was Schwarzenegger's back.
Oh, it had to be. Well, it covered a whole fucking 80-inch TV. Just like shoulder to shoulder. Oh.
And then the alarm goes off. Bob! We're having a schizoid embolism going on here.
Yeah,
get in here.
I just love how they set up the shot because they have like the call screens, and so you had Dr. Lowell in the foreground and Bob in the background, like talking to the woman. You just see her like yelling at him, and he finally comes over and answers schizoid embolism.
And we see the nerd tech like trying to hold Schwarzenegger down.
That's not gonna work out so well.
No, he's like, get me out of here! Ah!
Yeah, he's starting to come to, and they're like, Mr. Quaid, Mr. Quaid. And he's like, I'm not Quaid! Who is Quaid?
And they're like, well, you don't. And they're like, he's losing it.
Yeah.
And then he's like, then Bob's like, what the fuck's going on? She's like, we didn't even put the implant in yet. This is real. He thinks he's fucking the secret agent.
Man, you really approached that well. So he's freaking the fuck out. They're like, hold him down. We're going to start injecting him with the shit. They get him calmed down. And then Bob is just like, can you guys not do a fucking double implant? Like, what am I paying you guys for? He's like, well, I mean, that's the thing. We didn't even get to do the implant. He's like, he's just acting out what you already implanted in him. We haven't even implanted it in him yet. He really thinks he's been to Mars. I'm like, oh, all right. I guess give him back his money, throw him in a cab, and erase his memory of coming here first.
Get rid of him. Dump him in a cab. I don't care what happens after that. And that's what they do.
Of course.
And they put him in a Johnny DeHart cab. Like, hey there, buddy. How you doing? Where to? Got a little joke for you. and he's like, what? Where am I?
How did I get here? I opened the door, and you walked in, and here you are. Isn't that jolly?
You know, every day above ground's a good day to me. I don't know about you.
Oh, God.
And they take him home to his lovely apartment.
Well, yeah, he gets dropped off, and they live like in a Walmart mall complex.
Everything's just concrete and ugliness.
Yep.
It's very dystopian to me.
And so he gets out, and he's kind of groggy, but he's like, he's walked this walk before, so he knows where he's going. He's getting ready to go back to his apartment, and that's when Harry comes down. He's like, but where you been? It's been like 3 hours, hasn't it? Maybe he went for lunch and he had to come back to work or something. That'd be alarming. So Harry's just like, I haven't seen you all day. Come on, dude, let's go down and I'll buy you a drink. And he's like, I'm a little foggy. I'm gonna go take a rest.
He's like, no, you're coming.
Pulls a gun out.
Four goons come out. 4 middle-aged tubby goons.
They're definitely gonna hold down fucking Arnold in prime.
Take him to like a side area, I guess where the gay sex happens. I don't know. And they're gonna like pummel him. But no, this is Schwarzenegger. You're not going to pummel Schwarzenegger. He's going to pummel you.
Yeah, I forget where they were trying to take him or do with him.
There was going to, I think there was, I don't know what they were going to do because they're working for Copenhagen.
Yes.
I'm going to call them Copenhagen, by the way, through the whole, even though it's Cohagen. So just let everybody know that. If I say Copenhagen, I mean Cohagen. And Cohagen Das. And
I don't remember what their plan was, if they were going to try to take them into Cohagen, because Cohagen wants them alive is what we're going to find out soon.
Well, we learned that a lot of his henches do their own. They don't care what Cohagen says.
Yeah, that's true.
So maybe Harry's going rogue. I don't know.
Maybe.
But it doesn't matter because Schwarzenegger brutally murders every guy.
Well, yeah.
Snaps necks.
Instincts kick in.
Instantly, like Harry, he's known for years, and he's like ready to snap his neck. You think even if you pulled a gun, you'd want to know, why are you doing this to me? No, I'm going to kill you.
Clearly, him and Harry weren't that good of friends, like you said, you know? So Doug returns home after
covered in blood,
murdering 4 people, and he comes in. We got Lori, who's just practicing some tennis. Terrible form. As a 5-time gold medalist tennis player, terrible form.
Well, that's why she's trying to learn, Griff.
No, I mean the hologram.
Oh, the hologram?
Yes. So whatever she's learning, it's not going to help her. So Doug, he comes in, she's practicing her tennis, and he starts freaking out. He's turning off all the lights, and he's like, I went to recall today. These people, they jumped me. They're spies after me. She's like, you went to recall? That's probably what's happened, is they probably fucked with your head. And he's like, no, it's real. Harry attacked me.
He's like, look at this. And he shows his hands covered in blood. And she's like, oh, fuck. Go clean up. I'll call the doctor.
Do not call the doctor. And she's already got the phone. He's in the background, and then we're looking at the video screen.
You notice everybody who answers the phone does this move. They
know.
Turn their head around like they're waiting for someone to call them so they can do a dramatic head turn.
I fucking love it. I didn't even think about how silly it was until you just said it. But the dramatic, always. You get the profile that they turn into frame. Oh, my God.
And we see the beautiful face of Michael Ironside. And we know if Michael Ironside's there, something's up.
Oh, my God.
I want to point out, last week we had Mark Singer. This week Michael Ironside. We did a V double feature.
That's
both those guys are on V.
That's a good call.
And we just see his face. We know something's up because it's Michael Ironside.
Oh my God, it's Ironside. Who I think you said in the first segment was supposed to be RoboCop.
That's what Paul Verhoeven says, and they disagreed on the script. So he would have been RoboCop.
That's an amazing fact. Like, to think of RoboCop without Peter Weller.
Right.
It's
I
just
could
crazy.
totally see him as Clarence Boddicker, but it would have been a stretch for me for RoboCop.
Oh yeah. So Doug comes out of the bathroom to gunshots. Lights are all off, so we see the gunman, but we just see the silhouette of him. So it's it's like, what the fuck is going on? He's dodging all these bullets because, again, instincts.
Right.
Instincts. Just carrying him. So after several dodges, he finally manages to tackle the spy and hit some light. It's his wife. Lori is shooting at him.
And then she starts attacking him, just kicking him. She destroys his balls 5 times in this movie.
Oh, my God, yeah.
Ah! And I want to point Bugs. I guess you can't, for dramatic purposes, you can't have a real. If you get kicked in the balls, you're fucked up for a while. You don't just brush it off.
Okay, and she has horrible tennis form, but her kick form is top notch. Young Bucks, take notice.
She super kicked his junk.
Yeah.
He blows it off. She's got a knife. She's slashing him.
Yeah, she retreats into the kitchen, and a dog, like a person who's just finding all these layers are peeling back now. He's dumbfounded. He's just like, what are you doing? And, yeah, she takes that moment to grab a knife as he's approaching her slowly, and she fucking slices right across his shirt, which I couldn't tell if they were like, yeah, blood comes out or not. It may have just been the fabric.
She cut his arm. But he restrains her. And he's like, who are you? What are you doing? And she's like, look, I've only...
Yeah, then she slices him. He, gets the knife away from her, and they just sit down and chat.
Well, yeah, she's like, look, I'm not your wife. I've only known you for 6 months. I was sent here from the agency. We never learned what that's about.
Yeah. And he's calling bullshit. He's like, we've been married for 8 years. Implant. It's like, but what about the honeymoon where we did, I put on the John DeHart, and we fucked by the fireside?
You pegged me? That wasn't real? No. I did not peg you.
No.
And so she's like, but you know what? How about we fuck just for all good time's sake?
And if you're paying close attention, you can actually see a little TV in the background.
Yeah. Well,
you
she
can
sees it because that's what she's looking over his shoulder at.
Yeah, that's right. And so we're seeing that she is buying some time. And so she tells Doug, hey, I might just be an agent working here, but you're the best assignment I've ever had. I mean, so why don't we just, for old time's sake, go in the bedroom? And he just gives her this look like, I'm not getting in bed with you. And she's like, you can tie me up. Oh. The seduction at this point, I don't know how.
She's an agent of seduction, man.
Yeah.
That's why she's good at her job.
Yeah, she's like, why not take one last trip on Space Mountain?
And then our man Ironside and his goons burst in.
Well, actually, Murray, because you skipped over it, he realizes, turns around, and sees Ironside coming up the elevator, turns back to her. This is a callback they use in Jurassic Park that is not appreciated. Clever girl. Jurassic Park.
So he bails. And Richter shows up. Got that sweet leather blazer on.
Yeah.
And then Doug knocks Lori down and then runs away.
Mm-hmm.
And so a guy runs in to check on her, and fucking Ironside just kicks him in the teeth. He's like, don't touch her.
Yeah.
And then we're like, oh, what's going on here?
Jesus, yeah.
And we learned this is his lady, man.
That was we don't even learn that just yet. They just make out for a minute. You're like, well, yeah, I guess I would make out with her too if she was down for that. But still, Richter and crew, this Michael Ironside's character, Richter. So they have what? Do you remember what the geek's name was?
No.
There's this geek that is like Richter's right-hand man, and he's got white hair and big sunglasses.
Hench to the hench.
Yeah, he's the hench to the hench. And then he has this big Casio monitor that they use to track the telepathic transmitter in his brain.
I think it was the same trackers they had in Aliens.
It could have been,
yeah. Similar.
And so they're like, where's he heading? Oh, he's going to the subway.
Get those 90s computer graphics.
Oh,
just like,
beautiful.
Just like a grid.
Yeah,
and like a glowing like red ball when they're chasing it.
It's supposed to be like a 3D model that they're zooming in, and it's all this cool shit happening. And so he's like, okay, guys, head out. And then in a brief moment by himself with Lori, he fucking just grabs her and just lays a fat one on her. Kiss. No, he doesn't punch her. Kisses her. And so they go chasing Doug down into the subway. Right. And we already saw this X-ray tunnel before.
Right. So it's some other crude kind of CGI for the time.
Oh, very crude, yeah.
And especially the first time he walks through, because you can see him like his arms like flap.
He was doing like a Vince McMahon, like very eccentric walk. Yeah. Whoops. Just took the laptop out there.
But believe me, in 1990, this was mind-blowing.
Mind-blowing, yeah.
So, yeah, we see this. He's, like, stuck in between this X-ray, like, column because he's trapped both sides. Goons are coming.
Well, what happens is he walks in with a gun.
Well, yeah.
And so the security guards go wrap around, and then he's like, oh, what the fuck do I do now? And then they walk into the subway tunnel, so you get to see them with their guns as well. So he just fucking jumps through the glass. Apparently it's just like, sugar water. Yeah. Or whatever they make the fake glass out of.
Sugar glass.
Sugar glass. And
which is kind of, I mean, it's not exactly, but we have this at airports now. We have the X-ray machines, so this is predicted the future.
Exactly. Not a hard prediction, but they nailed it. And so Doug just continues on, and we got him going up a very crowded escalator. Not COVID safely distanced here.
Nobody wearing a mask.
And so he's going up. He's about halfway up. We see Richter and crew behind. They're pincering him here. But they also have goons up top. And I love this, Murray. Space Uzis. They have futuristic Uzis.
Every gun, it could be a revolver. It shoots 10 bullets at a time, but only shoots you once.
Yeah,
that was weird.
Doug grabs an innocent dude, uses instincts again. Grabs the guy, uses him as a shield, takes a hail of bullets from the four guys in front of him.
Squibs are going off like crazy.
Dude, so many squibs, yeah. And then he returns fire, just 5 shots to take out 4 guys. Beautiful. And then he realizes that behind him, Richter's getting out his gun, so he turns the guy around, blocks 4 more shots, throws the guy, and just continues to fucking bolt.
That guy who's using as a shield, he beats his wife, though, so it's okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Was that in the director's commentary?
Yeah, that was in the director's commentary.
Okay. So they get over to the subway, and, it's going to be close because the subway's already in motion.
Right.
Just starting up. And so what does Doug do? Fucking breaks the glass and just
leaps right in.
Jumps right
takes
in.
right off. And Ironside's not man enough to do that, so he just watches it go away.
Helm. That was the guy's name.
Helm.
That's his nerd.
So Helm and... Well, I'm glad you found his name because he's important right now. Because
Yep.
Helm and Ironside are getting in the car to chase after our boy because they still have the tracker.
Yep.
And then Helm can't help himself. He's got to do a little joke about Lori, who we learn is Richter's wife, or at least girlfriend. And he's like, man, she must love that fucking dick. He's like, what? You think so? What?
He's like, did you see him? Did you see
He
those
had the
glutes?
biggest dick I've ever seen on a man.
An Earthman?
On an Earth and a Martian.
Oh,
And that's
okay.
that Martian was like, ooh, right into Richter's heart. It's like, I'm going to kill this motherfucker. I don't care if I'm supposed to bring him in alive. I'm killing him.
And just like you said, we get a screen blip open, and then Cohagen turns to face the camera, turn and face the Strange. So he interrupts Cohagen, that is, and he demands they bring in Doug alive for re-implementation. They want to put him under that recall implementation again. Implantation,
Yeah.
excuse me. And so Richter, he's like, I'm not listening to this. I'm gonna kill that motherfucker. He's been fucking
Can't hear you. We're getting sunspots.
And just like
What's the Wi-Fi? What's going on here?
So I love this because just like an old TV or a radio is a better way of.
We got the horizontal and the vertical.
Yeah, he's just messing with the fucking dials, and it's like.
Yeah, he just found out that this guy who's been fucking his wife is the biggest dick that Helm's ever seen.
What is going on in the future though, where it's like you're part of an agency where you're married, but you have to loan your wife out to.
That happens.
This wasn't her first assignment either.
That happened. And spies, they would do that.
So what do you?
I don't know if in America, but in Russia, I know they did because I watched a show about it.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, you would, because you wouldn't be real couples. You like the show The Americans, which is a really good show, where they had these Russian sleeper agents in America, and they were technically married, but they were spies, and their job was to infiltrate. So you would fuck other people, and you knew that you were partners. You weren't like a couple.
Yeah, no, okay. So you're saying you think maybe Richter and Lori are like.
I think, because, I mean, come on. I like Ironside, but you think hot babe like Lori's going to be with Ironside. And he, of course, fell in love with her. How can you not?
I mean, he's got charisma.
He's great.
For days.
Yeah.
But, yeah. I mean,
he doesn't have hair for days. So.
Arnold has charisma for days, too.
And he's got the biggest dick we've ever seen on a Martian.
At least, yeah.
So, yeah, he's out. He's just like, oh, I'm going to kill this motherfucker.
Yeah, he's out for blood. All right, so Doug, he's going to be going. He finds himself. Do you think it was a sleazy hotel?
It was a hotel. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
For a fact, it was a hotel.
Okay. And
hiding out.
Yep.
And as soon as he gets in the room, he gets a call from this stranger.
I like that there was a video phone in the bathroom. Like, probably lots of privacy in there because what we've learned is that
was
anybody.
it the bathroom? I thought it was just like a one-room kind of
it might have been.
motel.
It might have been, but it looked like it was a bathroom to me.
Okay.
I thought
it's
he
a video
was
phone. Of course, we know it's a video phone because the guy turns his head around and looks in, and he's like, "Hey, quick, put a wet towel on your head. It'll muffle the tracker."
Yeah, he lets him know you've got a transmitter in your brain, and if you want to dampen the signal, you need to wrap a wet towel around your head.
Yeah.
So it takes Arnold 5 minutes to do it, and
and we learn he's like, Arnold's like, "Who is this guy?" He's like, "I'm a buddy from the agency."
The agency.
And he's like, look out the window. And Arnold looks out the window, and he sees that guy at a payphone. And he's got a giant-ass Kinji case. Mm-hmm. And he's like, I'm going to leave this for you. Come get it. It has everything you need. You never saw me. And he walks off. And then, of course, Arnold, he could be a Sikh. He made a perfect turban out of that towel.
It was fascinating. I didn't know he knew how to fold that way, but clearly he does. Again, it's layered into his brain. He just channeled his inside. He just closed his eyes and did it.
And he goes out there, gets in a fight with a homeless lady.
Love it. It was a nice little touch here.
She's like, "That's mine."
Yeah, finders keepers. I had my hands on it first, and he's like, "This is mine." I like that he let it struggle for a little bit, just to let her feel like she was going to get over here. But yeah, he just fucking face palms her,
and then he just takes off, finds the next Johnny DeHart car. Jumps in
as he grabs the fucking suitcase. Wasn't Rich right on his trail there.
Yeah, they were chasing him.
So they were already right behind him, and I love that Arnold, as he runs away from the old lady who's telling him to fuck himself, he turns and bows to her.
Yeah, he's trying to play like he's a Sikh or something now. I don't know. It's weird.
I liked it though. I appreciated
it. He
it.
jumps in the Johnny Cab, and then Richter shows up, and they start this opening fire, and it's like, "Where do you want to go, sir?" And it's like, "Shit! I don't know that place, sir. You got to be more specific." And he just rips the fucking robot out of the fucking car seat, takes over somehow.
Yeah.
I don't know how this works.
I
didn't see any steering wheel.
No, there was like a little handle that used to be on the bumper cars. That's all it was.
Bumper car technology.
They're using bumper car technology in the future.
And he takes off, and somehow he gets this shitty little car. He gets the jump on Richter again.
It's super fast. I don't know how, but I just love that he throws the fucking robot out the window, and he
doesn't. He leaves it.
Oh, he leaves it?
Yeah, it's just laying there in the back seat.
All right, so. He ends up crashing the cab.
He goes to like the abandoned concrete factory, which we know. I don't know how it's abandoned because everything in this fucking city is made out of concrete. But who knows? It's rough economy. And he stops, and the guy, the Johnny the Heartcap's like, "Adios, Bela Lugosi," and then he just takes off. Like he's not even attached. He takes off, slams into a wall, bursts into flame. Even like Paul Verhoeven's like, yeah, what would be in this car that would make it do that? I don't know, but we needed an explosion because we needed Richter to find something. There's an explosion at the old abandoned. There's no explosion at the abandoned car factory, concrete factory, at the Sparks factory all the time, not the concrete. So they go, we got him, and then they chase him. So then our man, Doug, he opens up that case.
Yep, he goes to a nice secluded area in the concrete factory. Starts opening up the case.
Finds out there's some red Martian money, or it's funny money from a strip club.
Yeah,
I don't know. He's got to find some IDs. He finds this watch, and he's like checking it out. And then some guy who looks strangely like him comes around a corner.
Yeah,
and he's like, "Hey!" And we learn this is like a hologram projector.
Again, setting up. Thing, teaching us about this shit. It's cool. I like how they
He's got
did it.
a lot of shit. And then there's something that looks like an anal probe, and he puts that aside. And then rats are everywhere, just scurrying on everything. They're not scared of man at all.
No, these are city rats, man.
There was a couple
rat.
Snicker bars in there because he needs to be satisfied.
Yeah, you gotta have something in there.
And he pulls out. There's like a video screen.
Yeah, video screen, and turns out it's a recording from himself. But he calls himself Hauser, and he's like, "Hello, I know if you are listening to this now, you have been fucked. Your brain is fucked. I'm Hauser, you are Hauser, but you're probably somebody else right now. If you're in this, Cohagen probably got the better of you."
Right. He tells him, he's like, "I used to work for Cohagen. I went undercover in the Martian resistance, and then I fell in love with these people. I believed in what they're doing, and now I've gone rogue. And I'm going to tell you what you need to do to survive.
Yeah.
And I have all this shit you need, and you need to get to Mars."
Yeah, the first thing you need to do is get that transmitter out of your brain. Right. So take that probe and just stick it right, just jam it into your nose. Don't worry, it's laser guided. It'll do it all the work itself. And so this is a cool fucking close-up shot. It makes no sense because the probe is like the size of one of those vending machine toys that you would get in the plastic bubble. And it is in the plastic bubble packaging. But yeah, he pulls out this probe and there's just this gnarly close-up and you see the little light blip.
Great. Yeah, we get great practical effects.
So
it's
fucking
like a dummy.
cool. And so he gets it out and you see the bubble pops open. You have just a little transmitter. And he's like, shit, okay. And then Hauser says, you need to get your ass to Mars. And that's when Rich and crew, they start to show up, and he hears the car door slam, so he's like, I got to get the fuck out of here. And just before he scurries away, he takes one of the little Snickers bars and shoves the transmitter in it. And so the rats start fighting over it, and they start scurrying off with it. And that's when we cut back over to Rich and crew, who are trying to track it.
And they're like, he's here! And then fucking Richter's just like firing bullets everywhere. He doesn't give a shit. And then, he's over here. He's over here. And we see the rats like are all fighting and chasing. And then he shoots up the fucking video screen, but it doesn't break. But it does.
It just
stuck on a loop.
Yeah,
and he goes, "Get your ass to Mars. Get your ass to Mars." And he's like, fuck. And then he just fucking murders this rat, and blood, like 10 times the amount of blood that would be in a rat, just splatters on the screen.
So what Doug is going to be doing is taking some of those fake IDs, the Brubaker ID, and going to the Hilton.
Right, he said go to the Hilton.
The Hilton, corporation. Again, it's all about these corporations. Paris Hilton probably runs Mars. So they're going over, he's going to try to get over to the Hilton in Mars.
Yeah. So since we're on a tighter budget, we just cut to the chase. We're landing on Mars. We don't see him get on a spaceship. We don't see a spaceship fly. We just see a spaceship land.
Did we even see that?
Yes, we did.
Okay. I just remember we start opening up. We're in the security checkpoint, and we're just looking at this large red-headed woman. And we're just like, what are we looking at now? What are we doing here, guys?
I don't know.
Director, hello, help.
Lost.
We could cut this scene because there's no characters we care about. And finally, we have some noise happening in the background. Ironside, Richter has shown up.
Right. Well, they're probably on the same. There's probably only one shuttle to Mars a day.
Maybe, yeah, that could be it. And so he's walking through. He's got like his whole. He has like a Mars army that reports to him.
Right.
But they also kind of give him shit. They're like, we're a little held up. I mean, you guys were supposed to catch Doug, and Richter's like, you can shut your fucking mouth right now. He's like, I'm gonna choke you up next time you try to blame something on me. Nice graffiti, perfectly spray painted on a column. Kuwato lives.
Yeah, we learned that Kuwatu, which we've actually learned earlier, but we forgot to mention it, is the leader of this uprising.
Yes.
And no one's seen him. He's a mysterious figure. Which is why Cohagen wanted Hauser to infiltrate. Yes. They want to find out who this guy is. They hear he's psychic. That's all they know about him.
Interesting. PKD loves his psychics. Here's what I appreciate about, because we're already off the rails. And unlike Game of Thrones, when they went off the rails, they had no content whatsoever from what I hear. I don't watch the show. These guys perfectly embrace the PKD feel and everything. Like, they nailed what I think PKD might have done with the story if he wrote a full novel instead. All right.
So Richter's just walking off. He doesn't even have to go through customs. He just he just walks off.
He's got his sweet fucking leather jacket on, his button-up shirt. He's just got to go where he pleases. He's a made man, if you will.
Right.
And he's getting ready to go through, some kind of. I think he was still standing there pondering over the fucking spray paint when we go back. The audience goes back over to the large redheaded woman trying to check in, and the guy's like, how long are you going to be here? 2 weeks. What do you think you're going to do? Do you have any food or animals? And then it repeats back, yes, 2 weeks. You're like, what the fuck? Is this a glitch? What is happening here?
This lady having a schizoid embolism? What's going on?
It might be a schizoid embolism. And just something about that somehow gets Ironside's attention, and he turns around slowly just as the red-headed woman starts backing up and freaking out. And
like
just
grabbing her face, pulling her mouth open.
Clawing at her face, yelling out 2 weeks. It's like, oh, what, is she a Bare Naked Ladies fan? What's going on here? And Ironside's like,
that's probably it. He's like, Bare Naked Ladies, I'm going to murder somebody.
That might have been it. He hates anything joyful. So he's like, that's Quaid. And they start like opening fire.
Well, he doesn't say that's. Does he say that's Quaid?
Yes, he figured it out.
And he's right, because then we get. I don't understand the physics of this, because I can believe a guy could have like a encased suit, but then this giant fucking like thing comes out the side of the neck.
Everything about it is too deep. Yeah, it's crazy.
And then it opens, and then we get. For its time, it was good, but it was kind of an odd puppet of Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, it was.
And then he picks the head up. And goes,
I like this because all the security at the airport are like confused. They're just standing there, and he tosses them the head, and then the head explodes.
Yeah, it's like, do you think he rigged that, or that's how the head? Like the head is a disguise / explosive device. I didn't get that. He's like, here, catch. He throws it, blows up a guy whose just job is security.
Yes,
murders him.
So Doug's kill count for innocent people is already up to like 15 at this point.
And fucking Richter is like, kill him! And he just starts firing, blows a window out.
Yeah, so the airlock's fucked now.
I love that this is thin single planes of glass.
I know,
they're keeping out. You think they'd have like a foot thick fucking
Exactly.
glass. But we learned they're doing it on the cheap because they don't care.
Exactly. Again, this is what happens when you let corporations run things.
Right, cut corners. They take government money and they cut corners.
And then they buy their own stocks. So fucking Cohagen probably owns so much of his own shit. So in this whole, everything's fucked right now. You know, everyone's holding on for dear life because you get sucked out into Mars otherwise. And finally, a guy manages to hit the switch to close like the main, you know, like the secondary, like I don't know, whatever hull, let's call it. And during this whole fucking thing, Doug has managed to slip away, and you know, Richter's just like, "Fuck, he got away."
And then so Richter, he's got to meet up with Cohagen to get chewed out. And I like that Cohagen, even in person, turns his head.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And he's just like, he just gets chewed out. And he's just like, can't you fucking incompetent guy do anything?
Yeah, I mean, again, Richter is all about killing him. He's like, he's gonna have total recall in any minute now. We got to just murder him. There's no point in keeping him alive and trying to reimplant him. But there's something in his brain that Cohagen demands. So he's like, you get back out there, you get him, you bring him to me, and you do it soon, or I'm going to erase you.
Yeah, he's like, you do what you get paid for, you fucking scumbag. He has no respect for Richter at all.
He doesn't, and it kind of sucks, but it's interesting. I don't know. Heels on heels versus heels. Heels versus heels, man. All right.
Doug, he arrives at the Hilton, and he shows his ID that he has.
Yep.
And he's like, sir, there's a package for you in a safety deposit box.
Oh.
And he's like, so he signs off for it, opens it up. All that's in there is this flyer for this whorehouse called The Last Resort.
Oh, interesting.
And on the back, it says, for a good time, ask for Melina.
Interesting.
And he's like, And then he goes, hey, excuse me, do you have the marker? Hands him a marker. And he writes Melina again. And he's like, this is from me because this is my handwriting.
This is my handwriting, yeah.
And so we're like, oh, okay, that's interesting.
So he heads back outside. We're just gonna follow him right along the last. He doesn't need to go up to his hotel. He doesn't need to check out his room. He's like, I need to get my dick wet. I need to go check out some action.
Well, we never knew that. All we know is he needed to go to the Hilton. We don't even need to get a room. I mean,
that's a good point.
He needed to come get this clue.
You think the trip to Mars might have tired him or something, though?
No, he's
ready to go.
Oh, for all we know, this is all in his head. So he never gets tired.
That's a good point. I love this movie. So he heads outside where we have two cabbies fighting over his fare. And there's just some generic white dude, and then there's this crazy-looking black dude.
And if you know if it's the 80s, you got to go with the jive-talking black guy.
Oh, you have to. And he's got crazy, gnarly teeth.
Yeah, he looks like Flavor Flav.
It's great.
He's got a grill.
And so you see Doug being attracted by this crazy black man. He's like, I like this guy. And then explosions start going off. And so they scurry into, his name's Benny. We'll just use it. But so Benny's like, yeah, come on, man, get in here. And Doug's like, what the fuck is going on? He's like, the rebels are at it again. This
happens every day. Man.
Yeah,
this is like Mogadishu.
Yeah.
And he's like, do you know this place? And he shows him the flyer. And he's like, oh, that's in Venusville. I know that place intimately.
Yes.
I'll take you there.
So he not only takes him there, you have to park kind of... It's like a beautiful downtown...
Parking is awful in Venusville.
You can't get parking downtown. So you park on the outskirt and you walk through. But Benny's like, don't worry, Doug. I'm going to walk you through.
Because I got 5 kids to feed.
I got 5 kids.
So
oh, yeah.
I need this money.
Yeah. So Benny tagging along. We're seeing all... okay. Benny's words, not mine. He's like, yeah, all these freaks. And he's like, just slurring the fuck out of them to their face. He's just telling all the people we see them, they got fucked up faces and everything. And they're all asking Doug for money and shit.
Well, we learned that the one benefit of being a mutant is you get clairvoyant powers.
Yes, you do. Got another PKD thing.
And they're just like, hey, fortune for sale. And a little girl runs up to Doug.
Is a little orphan girl pulling on his...
She's not an orphan. Her mom is back there.
She's supposed to look like an orphan.
Oh,
that was the point.
That's a scam.
Yeah, and so she's pulling on his coat, coattails. And, Mister, can I tell you your fortune?
That's a perfect Martian accent you did.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, she's like, your birthday is so and so. Like, how did you know? She said your sign is like Taurus or some shit. Like,
yeah.
How did you know? And he gives her like a penny and pats her on the head. Meanwhile, she took his wallet and she's just like, sucker. And Benny's like, here's the last resort. They show up at this.
Do you really want to go here? I mean, there's better. I gotta tell you, there's better tits down the street.
Yeah, but there's only 3 at this one. So he's like, no, I'll go. And it's like, it's not a strip club. I don't think there were some women dancing.
No, they were doing some extracurricular activities upstairs.
Yes, it's a whorehouse.
It is a whorehouse.
Also,
it's an old Western whorehouse.
A bordello. Let's call it that.
Bordello. It's a bardello.
And he goes up to the barkeep. That's what, if you want to know answers, you got to go to the barkeep.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm looking for Melina. He's like, she's busy. Why don't you fuck this freak over here instead?
Yeah, and so we get, everybody knows, 3 teats.
Yeah, tri-tits.
Yeah, tri-tits comes through, and she's just like, oh, look at you. And she sees he's got like a $10 bill out there. She's like, oh, this will get you plenty of time on the old 3 teats. So she opens up her blouse and exposes those 3 tits. And he's like, well, I believe that is impressive. Could you go ahead and put those away?
I was
need
shocked
Marlena.
that Arnold didn't come up with a one-liner for that. I don't know.
That's a good point.
It's hard. I can't come up with one right now.
He was probably trying to go for a 3-liner on that one.
Teats okay. I don't need it.
Oh, no. I love it.
So while that's going on, Melina hears all this. She's with some mutant guy and some regular-looking guy. And she's like, hold on. Let me check this shit out.
Well, he says, I can make it worth her time. And then he exposes more bills. And so the bartender goes, all right, now you're talking her language. And he yells for her.
Okay.
So she doesn't intuit it or he overhear it. So she comes over. Yeah.
Immediately grabs his junk.
Oh, my God.
She's like, still bulging, I see. What have you been feeding this thing? And then, without perfect timing, blondes. That was a great one.
This was the best one-liner of the movie. What have you been feeding this thing?
And then she's like, well, let's go upstairs and fuck, I guess. Because this is a whorehouse. Wink.
Yeah, they're still trying to undercover and everything.
Right.
Tony notices them. Tony, by the way, is one of the mutants.
The mutant guy?
He was one of the mutants. Yeah, he was the mutant.
I didn't respect him enough to know his name. He's a mutant, for Christ's
I like
sakes.
it. So they're talking privately, and it just so turns out that, guys, this is A41. This is the woman from his dreams. This is her. And so everything's coming together. But wait, is it? Maybe this is a dream, because this is a dream girl.
It's a dream within a dream. I don't know.
Fucking Inception.
But she's just like, thank God. She like kisses him. She's like, where have you been? It's like, I don't know you.
Yeah.
She's like, you're married, aren't you? You motherfucker.
He's like, well, I was for a little while, but it turns out she wasn't my wife. And she's like, what the fuck are you talking about? I just fucked her because I thought I was married to her.
Remember?
Yeah.
Blondes feeding my dick. And he's like, I wasn't joking.
Oh, my goodness.
And she's like, you're incorrigible. Get the fuck out of my face.
Yeah, I'm not Hauser. Hauser brought me to you, but I'm Doug Quaid, quarterback for the Buffalo Bills. That sounds like a quarterback name for some reason.
Could. And yeah, it's confusing. We're all confused.
Yeah, but she kicks him out because they had a thing. Maybe this is why he had it in his brain that he wanted this type of woman, because she was the woman for him.
Sure it was.
You know?
And we cut to Benny just grabbing those teats.
Yeah, and he's like, oh man, you almost have a teat for all my kids.
And then he's like, Quaid comes down. He's like, teat you later, slaps the tits away. Because he's got that money. He needs that money.
Yeah, Benny was waiting there for him because he's like, I'm just going to stick with this guy. I'm going to chauffeur him about because I just want to keep collecting.
Right.
So they're walking along. They're going to head back to the hotel. And, Benny's stirring up some nice dialogue, nice conversation. You ever fucked a mutant before? And he's like talking about all the glands and oozing and all the he's like, you haven't had a WAP until you've had a fucking mutant WAP. Like, that is the wappiest of WAPs.
Oh, yuck.
Unless you like a drive.
So Doug, much like me, is like, can you drop me off?
Can you just leave? After a tough day of WAP, I need a rest.
So he just goes to lays out in his hotel, watching another Copenhagen doing a presser. but still turns his head when he comes to the TV screen.
I love it.
And he's like, we will not let these terrorists take over.
Yeah.
Mining will go on Mars. So he's resolute.
Doesn't matter if fracking is ruining the fucking population's running water. Oh, man, that was a thing in the past. The flaming water from fracking.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, yeah. And we learned that, or we learned earlier, I think Benny said it, that we learned that everything's made cheaply on Mars. They're like, it's pennies on the dollar. And that's why we have mutants. These are regular people. These are the first settlers.
Yes.
And they were exposed to the radiation. Apparently there's radiation on Mars. I don't know.
I thought the problem was like there wasn't sufficient covering, so maybe the radiation, but then it was like they were deprived of air for too long, and that's what fucked them up.
Well, I don't think that would make you a mutant.
That's the only
Come
line
on, how
I
many
had
comic
in there
books
about
have we
it.
read, Griff? Radiation always makes you a mutant.
It's always radiation
Yeah.
for sure. I maybe it was a combination of both.
Probably.
And so now he's just hanging out there, just enjoying his presser. I'm sure Cohagen ran on
thinking like, do I want some WAP? Do I not want some WAP?
some more. But I'm sure Cohagen ran on infrastructure. He's like, I'm going to do small jobs. We're going to get blue-collar workers back in work. The fucking miners will be working harder than ever. But then we hear a knock at the door. And Doug's like, I'm not taking visitors. I'm tired. Long day. Guy's like, Mr. Quaid, you need to talk to me. So he opens the door, and in comes Edgemar, a very new character here.
Well, not so new, because he was in the commercial for Recall at the
He was?
beginning of the movie.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're right. He was, yeah.
So we know as the audience that he works for Recall.
That's good call. Good recall. Back to the recall.
And he's like, sir, you're in deep shit.
Yeah.
You're not, all this around you is not real.
Yeah.
You're at Recall Industries, whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Yeah.
And you're having a schizoid embolism right now.
Yeah, you're in the implant chair as we speak, and I'm here in your dream to get you out of we're going full Inception right now.
I'm talking you down. It's like an acid trap. I'm talking you down.
Yeah. Took too much.
And Doug whips out a gun. He's like, I don't believe you.
Yeah, he's freaking out. He's just like, how am I supposed to believe you? What have you got that's supposed to make me believe you?
And he's like, if you don't believe me, how about you believe your wife?
Ooh.
Lori, come in here. Lori shows up in her best power suit.
Oh, my
great.
God. Baggy as shit. It just reminded me of fucking Avedon's brother.
she did borrow Keith Vitale's suit for
Keith
this.
Vitale,
but at
thank
least
you.
she had it pressed.
Yes.
It wasn't
true.
wrinkled.
It's true.
And she's like, honey, it's me. I'm worried about you.
And
he doesn't know what to think. She's like, why would my wife be on Mars?
Yeah, Edgemar is hitting him hard. He's just like, think about it. You met your perfect A41 woman here.
Athletic, sleazy, demure.
You're a secret agent all of a sudden. All these things. Is it possible, maybe, that you're under the implant right now? Or do you think all of you being a secret agent, everything, you fucking a mutant today, do you think that's real? You think that's reality? And he's just like, I don't know what to think. And so he gets that gun.
He's ready to, give up. He's
and he's like, don't do it. Because if you kill me, you can't come out of the dream. That schizoid embolism.
You're going to be lobotomized.
Yeah, that schizoid embolism will just kind of implode your brain. You'll be lobotomized, just like that guy who went to Saturn. He's like, I got something. Just take the red pill. And Lori's whispering in his ear, take the pill.
Did he offer? I thought he offered 2. Isn't it like Matrix?
He didn't. He didn't even.
What is the Matrix? Blue pill and
blue
red
pill and a red pill.
I don't know which is which. I know incels love that.
It's the blue pill will send you home. The red pill tells you the truth.
Okay.
That's why they call it the red pill, because it tells you the truth.
Well, he was given a red pill,
and so he puts it in his mouth, and he's just like, swallow it. And he just looks.
Can you give me some water? This shit's dry.
Looks around the room, and he's just like, bullshit! Shoots him in the fucking head.
Well, come on. He saw a trickle of sweat.
That's
go
what
down.
it was. Yes.
And he's like, a hologram or image would not do that. Wouldn't sweat because because Edgemar's freaking out. He got a gun pointed at him.
Yeah. If he were really in a dream, Why would he be sweating it?
Right. And he's trying to pretend like he's not scared.
There's clearly consequences here.
And then, yes, it blows off because every time you pull the trigger, it's like a cop's gun. Yeah. 10 bullets fly out, but 1 bullet hits his head.
Yeah,
It's weird.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And everyone gets shot in the head in this movie too. If you didn't notice that.
Oh man, I love it. And just as he fucking shoots them, goons burst through these fucking thick ass
like
concrete
Kool-Aid
walls.
man. Like, oh yeah,
it was
bust through.
It was they took the red pill, and that's what it did. It gave
And
him super
fucking,
strength.
we know what Lori's move is: destroy the nuts. She just immediately kicks him in the nuts again.
Yeah.
Ah!
And so they immediately capture Doug, and you're like, oh my god, if that kick to the nuts this time, it really affected him.
It will.
And so just like our opening scene, except this time,
Well,
they
she's
have
like,
Doug
she kicked
in
him in the
hand.
nuts. It's like, that's for making me come to fucking Mars.
I loved
asshole.
it. So
she hates Mars.
Yeah. Her talk of Mars earlier was real. See, the best characters are based on your true feelings. So, she really played it up. So we're heading over to the elevator. They're just waiting there. They're blowing bubble gum and all that shit. They're just like, man.
Talking about the last football game.
Last football game. Is that what they play on Mars? I thought they did the Jugger game from Salute of the Juggers.
No. They play. This is all American. Mars is ruled by America. So we play football. Real
Americans.
Football.
Real Americans. They always stand for the national anthem as well. They never kneel.
Right.
So elevators coming up. They're just waiting. Again, talking about the football. Doors open.
Space football, by the way.
Space football, of course. That must be interesting in gravity. Or do they play in a dome that makes the gravity real, like Earth gravity?
I don't know. I haven't looked into it.
I don't know, but Jason Hansen, I heard, kicked a 99-yard field goal once.
Oh, he came out of retirement?
Yeah.
Cool. So while they're doing this is their conversation, by the way. We're just repeating it.
Yeah.
And the door opens, and it's Melina with an Uzi.
Space Uzi.
Space Uzi. It's brrp, brrp, start shooting it, and then Lori's like, oh, no, bitch.
Yeah.
Going hand to hand.
I loved it. She was Keanu in this scene. She's dodging bullets. She's doing fucking cartwheels all over the place. And it's a good thing she's wearing those fucking ill-fitted, loose pants.
You need them if you're going to kick.
Exactly. You get perfect knee bends and everything in there. And so her and Lori and Mel have a nice showdown here.
Right.
I believe Doug was handcuffed.
Yeah, he's
something?
handcuffed.
Okay.
He's incapacitated. He's still rubbing his nuts, man.
Yeah, he's still
selling it.
Yeah. So they have a nice fight here, Lori and Melina, and it just so happens that Lori actually gets the better of Mel, and she's getting out a dagger to stab her in the throat, but Arnold has broken free. And he grabs a gun and shoots the knife out of her hand. And then Lori suddenly snaps and she goes into playing Doug's wife again. Right. She's like, babe, isn't this hot? Isn't this turning you on? Like, let's finish her off and go back to the room. This could be some good shit.
Right, because she's playing into that. He thinks it's a dream, you know? Like, she's wanting him to think it's a dream.
God, very PKD right
And
here.
while she's talking, she's going for that little gun in the back of her pants.
Yep.
But fucking, this ain't Quaid's first rodeo.
Yeah.
So he's just and like one shot to the head.
Yeah.
Another shot to the head. And he's like, consider that the Force.
Lori gets up, dusts off herself, and then she looks down and goes, your wife is a bitch. Great.
And that's like the woo! The audience goes, wild for that line.
So again, Richter, who was down,
always one step behind.
He's always one step behind. He was waiting downstairs at the bar. He was just hanging out down there. He's always like waiting around the corner or something, and
he's always on a monitor somewhere.
Yeah, waiting to turn around. That's what it is. He's just waiting to turn around.
He's like talking to Helm. Is it on yet? Is it on? Should I turn now? Now?
Just waiting for his cue. Oh my god. So he finds Lori dead, and we know this is his wife.
Yeah,
so he's like broken.
Well, he knows, like, I'm never getting a babe that hot ever again. So he's like, I want to murder everybody in sight.
Yeah.
That was the best I was ever going to get.
Yes. So he is completely ready to just fuck all of Mars. I will spray bullets across the windows, which we know are thin as my windows.
Right, single pane, not even double pane.
Oh, my God. And
you do not want to have a kids playing baseball in that fucking dome.
No, you fucking
don't. They will break that window.
So we got Doug and Mel. They're like escaped out this. They had a jump, and then they're like on the structure of the dome, and they're like climbing down. So they got the glass behind them. And again, Rich is in a fucking fury right now. So he starts shooting at them with the windows behind them, and Helm has to stop him. He's like, fuck, you're going to kill us all. You're going to kill everybody on Mars.
I don't care.
Everybody in this dome, because we're in various domes. She's like, I don't give a shit. But he comes to, and they go down, and we get a nice car chase that happens here. I don't remember. It was just a car chase. They shoot at each other.
Well, it was kind of like Richter was shooting at him, and then he pulls out this goddamn sci-fi elephant gun, and it does nothing. It just like it might as well be you having a pea shooter. It shoots the sign off the taxi cab.
I swear we see the same window get shot out 9 times.
It does cut the brakes, apparently, because Benny's brakes cut. I goes, no brakes! And they just crash into like a building in Venusville.
Yeah.
They crashed in the Last Resort, I think.
Maybe it was. It might have been. But I do know that they jump into Last Resort, and quickly they move one table aside, and there's a secret door, and so Mel, Benny, and Doug, they all run in through the secret door, and then they close up, they set up the table again to make it look like they were never there.
And like we said, Richter's always one step behind. Yep. So he shows up as soon as they close that door.
And everyone's acting cool, like nothing just happened. And Richter comes in, 3 teats. What'd you call her? Triceratits?
Tri-tits.
And she comes up there, and she's just like, oh my God, you look like you need some tits. She could see the anguish on his face.
Well, he's like,
he just lost his wife.
My wife just died.
But here's the thing. He's not into... She was A43.
Oh, okay.
And he's more of the B40 type. That's the blonde version.
He likes demure. He does not like sleazy.
Yeah.
And she's pretty damn sleazy.
I don't know what to call her. She puts it all out there, and he's not into that. Literally. He likes to chase a little bit.
Right. So she goes, dick probably doesn't even work. Turns her back on him. Nonchalantly just murders her.
Richter just fucking kills her. Oh, my God.
That sets this little midget in a rage.
Thumbelina.
He's like, and attacks Helm for some reason. Stabs him in the heart.
Well, yeah, at this point, he's just like, who's talking? Everyone's just like, well, we don't know anything. So he's just like, all right. And they've got like their army, the Mars army there. So he's just like, the Guardians, their Space Force. So they're like, all right, clear it out. And so they just start murdering people. So now we're in a ballroom blitz. We got everything happening. Thumbelina, like you said, goes after Helm, who's being like, somebody's got him in a headlock. And she fucking stabs him right.
A giant Rambo knife in the heart.
Where was she keeping that thing? She's a small woman. Where was she keeping that thing?
I don't even want to guess.
Best part is the bartender goes, Thumbelina, come here. She jumps up on the bar. He tosses her the biggest fucking gun.
And then she goes straight Rambo on it. Like, shooting.
So
she's killing her own people. She doesn't care.
She doesn't even care. She's been waiting.
She loved 3 teats. There's a story behind those two.
It's got to be. There's got to be. So Richter reads the room. Bullets. He's like doing Braille, feeling it. He's like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. He jumps out the window. Cool shot. Again, same windows that they use to encase the dome.
I think those are thicker in Last Resort.
And he goes into his car because the Mars army is like, sir, Cohagen wants you. And sure enough, he gets in. Cohagen does a turn as we watch fucking Richter do the turn to him. Oh, it's so beautiful. I love the turn shots, man. And Cohagen tells him, pull out, get out of Sector G right now.
We're shutting Sector G down.
Yeah, and because Richter's like, we got them. They went into the Last Resort, and they didn't come out. And he's like, oh, good. We got them right where we want them. So just pull out.
And apparently, even in this hidden tunnels that Richter's using, there's still, gates closing down.
Yeah, the gate structure somehow goes down into these tunnels. So it's like, wait, do they not know about the tunnels? Like, I thought the army would know about these things.
I don't know. I don't know how they know about the secret tunnels that the good guys have. I don't know.
It's
but whatever. All it means is our heroes get out of the Sector G, though. They escape.
Yep. And we join back after Cohagen and Richter speak. We go back down there. They're like fumbling through, and it turns out they're in the settler's first tomb, the first settler's tomb.
Right.
So we got all these like
Benny's
bones
like,
and everything.
hey, my grandpa's here somewhere. I'm gonna look for him.
Yeah, he goes and fucks off for a second here, and they're just telling him like, yeah, we're gonna go meet Kawato, and they're wandering around, and then fucking a bunch of armed guards come forth and surround them, and Mel's like, hold on, he's with me. And then Benny steps out. They're like, what about this guy? Can we kill him?
Profiling.
Yeah, but Benny's like, no, guys, I'm with you.
I'm a freak.
pulls off his hand, and then
Got
a little
some weird praying mantis hand.
Very cool. Very
gross.
cool. It was sticky, and he was like, "How do you think I know about mutant fucking bud?"
And they're like, "Okay, you're one of us. You can come." So they go to the headquarters of Kuatu, and they're like, "Go into this room. Kuatu will be in there shortly."
Yeah, they kind of explain like, yeah, Quahog, he went into the mine, he found some shit, and he seems to think you know something about it. So Kuatu, that's why he wants you. So I hope whatever's in your head is good.
Yeah, everybody wants what's in Doug's head.
Yeah.
Cohagen and Kuatu. So we meet this guy that we saw earlier. He's a normal guy. We're just like, is that Kuatu? I don't.
Yeah.
And he's like, Kuatu will be in here shortly.
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and have a seat? And if you don't like mutants, you better swallow your stomach now, because I got some shit I got to
And then
review.
Kuatu, ever the performer, he can't just show up. He's like, okay, I'm going to turn my back to you. Turns his head for a second, because you got to do that.
Yep.
Are you ready? 1, 2, 3! And he turns around, rips his shirt open, and we see this fucking mutant puppet on his stomach like a parasitic Siamese twin. And it got me to thinking, Griff, like, Kuatu, Kuatu?
Wait, you're saying that Q is short for Kuatu?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
I mean, that's the funniest thing about this, is now that, Trump lost the election and all that.
First of all, he didn't lose the election.
Oh, he didn't?
No.
But
it got stolen from him.
It got stolen from him. But it's got me wondering, like, who could this Q be? Because people thought it was Trump himself. Murray, I think I implanted this memory into you, or maybe you implanted the memory into me.
I think we both implanted memories into each other.
But there's something about we've been saying this. There's something about the way he stands.
I always wondered about his posture.
And there's something about the way this man stands in Total Recall.
Right. We always thought Trump just had fucked up posture because he's like, his ass sticks out, his chest sticks out. I don't know how he stands without falling over. It's because he has a parasitic twin, Kuatu, attached to his stomach. He's not fat. He's not obese. Like his doctors say, he's not obese, Griff. He has a Kuatu on his gut.
Oh, my God. He is the perfect weight. It's just Kuatu adds an extra 100 pounds to him.
Right.
Oh, my God. He's not eating all the Big Macs. Kuatu
and
is.
That's sometimes why he'll be on the White House lawn just rambling around, because he's got that weight on him, dude.
He's got that. Oh, my God.
Put your weight on it.
Every once in a while, Kuatu takes over, and Kuatu can't see. He's stuffed in behind that giant tie. Again, the oversized tie is to distract the eye.
And when Trump takes credit for everything, he's really giving Kuatu the credit. That's what he's doing. So he's actually being altruistic.
So he's not a narcissist.
Not at all. He's the exact opposite.
My fucking God.
I'm just so happy we at least have 30% of the population gets this and knows this. I'm glad we're idiots. We finally just clicked.
We are. Well,
for
we've
us.
been drinking that Dem Kool-Aid for so long.
Right.
Oh, we're a bunch of fucking idiots. I thought Biden was going to save the world.
No, he's going to destroy it.
Anyways, Kuatu is revealed, and he's this gnarly little fucking gremlin thing. He's awesome.
I'm here.
He's got little hairs, but it was like the guy's chest hair. Like it was the same, but it grew out really long.
Kind of like Hasselhoff.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's like, I'm going to mind meld with you.
Yes. Lean forward and put your head in my palms, and we're going to reveal. And sure enough, we zoom in on Kuatu's little blue eye. And
open your mind. Open your mind.
And where do we go, Murray?
Open your mind. Well, we go into this chamber that apparently is in the pyramid that was discovered by Cohagen. And we see Cohagen and Richter.
Yeah.
And Cohagen, they're like going over, sir, this is the machine. It could do anything. It could destroy the planet. We don't know.
Yeah, we really just don't know what's gonna do. So we can't fucking start it up. It's at least 500,000 years old. It might even be 1,000,000 years old. Been hearing about that?
We carbon dated it. It's at least
500,000.
500,000.
Yeah, it could melt down the entire planet. You know, we just don't know.
Cohagen's like, nobody will know about this. Keep it tight.
Yeah. And as we're leaving this beautiful scene, we just see this giant control button. It's not red, which it could have been red, but you see like an alien handprint in it.
It's like a little dome with an alien handprint.
And we just zoom out from there, and Oh man, it's gnarly, but it's like I got to hit that button. Someone's got to go hit that fucking button. And as we're coming to, fucking giant underground mining machines start bursting down the walls. And Kuatu's host, he's like knocked out. Apparently, the mind melding like saps off his energy.
Well, yeah, Kuatu takes over, so that's why he's out of it.
Okay. So he's got to wake the guy back up, and they start bailing, and they grab Benny, they grab Mel, and they head down a tunnel. I forget who's directing them, but they end up getting down this tunnel.
And they seal it off against Richter, and they think they're in the clear.
Yeah, they're in an airlock at this point,
and
so they're going to put on spacesuits.
Benny out of nowhere just fucking destroys Kuatu.
Yeah, Doug is turning around to tell him, like, Benny, come on, get your spacesuit on, man. We gotta go. And he guns down Kuatu. So he falls over, and he was wearing like a trench coat at this point or something. Or no, he was just wearing that army jacket.
Right.
And so that covers Kuatu's face. And through all of this, Richter, has opened that side of the airlock again.
You did good, Benny.
So he's like, yeah, fuck yeah, man. And Arnold's like, how could you do this? You're and he's like, my 4 kids? It's like, you have 5 kids. He's like, guess I blew my cover.
He's like, I can't even keep this shit straight.
I
should be working for Golan-globus Theater. And he high fives Richter, and they're just laughing it up. We're gonna kill you, Mom. And then Richter, for good measure, he sees Kuatu. Boom! Shoots him in that. No, this is like the 10th headshot in this movie.
They are very keen on their headshots, but before he does get his headshot in, Kuatu does whisper to Arnold, who hears him and leans over, start the reactor. And then he gets shot in the head. Good shot, like you said. Great shot.
So, we got Doug captured. He's brought up back to Kagan.
Yep.
Gobbin.
So they're just like in that room we saw him chew out Richter in.
His office.
Yeah, his office.
He's got the goldfish.
Yep.
Everything. I don't know why we needed that scene where he feeds goldfish.
I don't know.
But
it's just kind of cool.
It's
just like in Hard Target. It's like villains have goldfish. They have fish tanks. They like fish. It calms them.
Side of a sick mind.
It allows them to do all the evil shit they do.
That it?
Yeah, that might be it.
And fucking Cohagen reveals the plan. He's like, buddy, old pal, you're in on it. You're my friend.
Yeah, you've been working for me. We're best buds. You know this. If you search your feelings, you know it to be true. I think that's Star Wars.
And he's like, you're an asshole. I don't believe you.
Oh, my God.
And he's like, no, because the mutants, they can figure out. They got psychic powers, so I had to fucking implant you with these fucking...
Exactly. We couldn't just send you in there, like, knowing us and everything, because the psychics would have picked that up. They smell G-men like us.
He's like, everything you've been experiencing from the beginning was my plan.
Yeah.
And like everything in the movie went according to plan until now.
Yeah. And he's like, look, even Hauser, Hauser, you. He's like, I got a surprise for you. He's like, oh, you have my mother here? It's like, no.
I got a bad motherfucker here for you.
And, we turn over to the screen, and we see Hauser. He's talking directly to Doug now, and he's just telling him, it's true, if you're listening to me now, you just did the job. You killed Kuatu. You saved Mars. You are a secret agent. And then it slowly, the camera on Hauser, it used to just be his face.
Yeah.
Now it's zooming out. You're seeing his whole body, but there's an arm over his shoulder. And we zoom out enough.
You see it's a profile.
Yeah. It slowly turns.
Cohagen turns.
Just for that dramatic tension,
And he's like, so we get that nice shot of the TV of them together, and they're watching it together. So we see the best of friends on the TV, worst of enemies in real life.
Yeah.
Nice shot. And he's just like, Hauser's like, I want my body back, buddy, so you're going. You're gone.
You need to go sit down and chill out. He's got to get Hauser wants back in. I don't know. I guess they're gonna implant Hauser's memories back in there. It's maybe like a clean hard drive, reinstalling Windows.
They're gonna do a core dump.
Yeah, they're gonna. God damn it, Murray! We were just joking about how bad we are about remembering, and then you drop core dump on us.
Man.
That's some fucking high level shit right there.
The mythology of Golan-globus Theater goes on.
You're gonna get a gold medal for that one, sir.
So they take him back. It looks like the same room that he got the.
Well, these machines, just like ventilators and everything, we got so many of them. So,
well, thanks to Trump.
Thanks to Trump, yes. So Cohagen, thanks to Q2. So Cohagen has his own. He's got a few. Maybe he just likes to go in and plant a couple memories. Have a good time.
Cohagen's like, I can't wait to hang with my buddy Hauser. He's an asshole. And they're like struggling to get him in. He's like, you know what, Doug? Like, I like you so much. I'm gonna let you have that whore. We're gonna wipe her mind.
Yeah.
And you can bang her all you want.
Yeah, they're like, we're gonna give you Hauser back. We're gonna retire you. You're gonna have a Ferrari, a mansion. Mar-a-Lago will be yours. Like, you're gonna be living the high. And then he sees the two of them making googly eyes. So he's like, you two will be married. We're gonna set that up for you.
That's exactly how Trump and Melania's relationship started. And
I could see that being true for Melania.
Sometimes you can see her struggling with the implants.
Yeah, because she probably went to recall incorporations, and she probably would try to get an implant, and it fucked her. She had a schizoid embolism too. Oh my God!
I totally get Q people now, because when you think about it, all falls into place. It
really does. It really does. So after all this beautiful, speech and everything, they're like, "We got a party to catch," and Richter's just like, "Wait, he's not going to remember anything, right?" Richter knows the score. He just wants to, really show up for Doug here. They're like, "No, of course not." And he goes over to fucking Doug, and he lays a fat one right across his chin. He jaw jacks him real good.
That one is a punch. The fat one earlier was a kiss.
Yes, that's a good. Murray, your callbacks today.
Man, hey. I'm taking my ginkgo biloba.
So the bad guys, they got a party to attend.
Right.
They're like,
bad guys, they can't stay for the.
Bad Moon's on the rise. They got to go watch it. They don't want to lose their, all the heavenly glory for their finger.
Right.
They don't want to see the implant happen. They want to go catch that glory.
So they leave the hero alone with the nerds.
And the nerds have started up the implant machines, and they're struggling. And only if you struggle does it hurt. If you just lay calm, it's fine. But they're struggling, and so it's hurting the shit out of them. But Arnold, he's fucking pumping up. He's hawking up, if you will. And so he's trying to get the crowd into it. He's slapping at the table, and he rips out one of the arm guards. And I love this. There is a 9-inch bolt hanging off the attached to it, not hanging off of it. And he uses that to jam in the guy's neck.
Right.
Brutal. Fucking awesome. Loved it. And so all these guys come at him, but he's like swiping them away because he's fucking Arnold.
He's stabbing people left. Stabs a guy through the head with some kind of apparatus.
Some guy brought it looked like a fire poker. And
I thought it was a golf club. It was weird.
It was such a weird object. But he does an overhead swing at Arnold. Arnold just takes it on the forearm. He's got a huge forearm, so why not?
Right.
Takes it from the guy and jams it through him. Then pulls it out and blocks an axe attack with it. Pulls his other arm out and fucking stabs that guy in the face before freeing up Melina. And, I don't even remember. Where do they go from there?
Well, they
even
run
follow
off.
them?
No, they run off. And at this point, even though it's killing Cohagen and Hauser, maybe they were lovers. I don't know, because he has a strong bond with Hauser. But now he's just like, Richter, I've tried everything. Kill him. Eliminate him.
Oh, that's right, because they're watching it from Cohog's office again. And so, they're seeing that. The red alert's going off. And go ahead. Kill him. And Richter, he's licking his lips.
Shit-eating grin.
Oh,
he's
yeah.
like, yeah, me likey.
About goddamn time as he cocks his gun, because of course he does. Right. And he just, that fucking leather jacket just swoops over like Darth Vader when he's entering a scene. Oh, it's beautiful.
There was a nice scene when they were in the room, the recall room, where they got a call. They're like, sir, there's a call for you. And then Cohagen's like, yeah, what do you want? Yeah, they're about to die in Sector 8. They got about 10% oxygen. Fuck them. Hung hangs up on it. I love the way he's talking in the phone. He was like it was annoying people on their cell phone where they hold the cell phone away from their face. Like, fuck them.
Oh, man, the people in the store walking around on speakerphone. Yeah. I love that.
But now, this was a 1980s phone. It was like a receiver.
They predicted these assholes today. They did it. Yeah. I love when people are at the store with their mask on, and there's like, well, I'm on the phone, so I can take my mask off. No big deal.
Yeah, it does.
Just take it off.
It stops it.
Saw someone yesterday who just had the chin strap on. Some crazy lady. Ugh,
It's
so annoying. All right, so yeah, now we got Richter on the loose now. He's ready to kill, but we're gonna go down to Tony. Oh yeah, that was.
We get cutbacks to Sector 8 where we're seeing people just like almost passed out. The midgets, like,
Thumbelina.
She needs half the oxygen a normal person, and she's having a rough
and she's
time.
having a hard, yeah. But Doug and Mel, they're back in tunnel somehow. They made it down into the tunnels, and they're just running down this tunnel.
Because he knows like his recall's coming back, so he knows where to go.
Oh, he's got the whole map of
yeah. And then, but then he comes to a dead end. He's like, no, this should be open. What's going on?
And it's in that moment where they're trying to figure things out, where fucking another the tunnel machine comes through, and just because we can't recognize this character 5 minutes later, he goes, "It's me, Benny. It's Benny, guys. Remember me from earlier in the movie? I drove him around, then I turned on him.
I'm gonna kill you, motherfuckers!" And he's like, and then Doug has the wherewithal to grab like a space jackhammer.
Well, this is just this is Doug now. We're seeing,
Right.
we know Hauser.
Thank God he had the Doug implant. He knows how to operate one of these.
Yeah,
machines.
exactly. And he knows how to lift it up. Those things are heavy as shit. He just, he's Arnold.
Come on, he's got 24-inch pythons.
Oh, boy. What have you been feeding that bulge?
Blondes. And steroids. And so they're like the little spaces in between the drill bits. And so he just starts shooting at a hole. This very well. I guess you wouldn't expect someone to attack your drilling machine. So you would leave vital areas.
He can't even Benny's field of vision is cut down. He can see in front of him, and that's it. So Hauser or Doug manages to get to the side where he's got an accessible hydraulic tube.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. So he starts drilling through the tube, and Benny's like, "What do you think you're doing? I'm gonna kill you!" And we see Hauser gets cut in the arm by one of the rotators, and Mel is pinned against a wall, and she's getting a little chewed up on her arm, and you don't see it in a minute, but it's happening. And so he manages to stop it by cutting that hydraulic the pump line.
Well, he does, and Benny does break down. There's like 2-inch thick wall apparently that was the dead end. He breaks that.
Yes.
And then he pulls back. He's like, "What you doing, motherfucker?" And then Doug goes up to the side where he sees where it says whatever, cockpit or whatever.
Yeah.
And he just starts going through that. He's like, "Screw you, Benny!" Just like that opening song we did.
Very good. Very good.
And he's like, "Where you at? I can't see you." And then and he gets drilled.
So good. So, yeah, we got a very convenient opening, and it's like right at the walkway and
all
everything.
All Schwarzenegger had to do was punch that wall, and it would have collapsed. It was like literally.
He could have blew on it. He could have he could have pushed Mel against the wall to make out with her.
It was thicker than the glass in the dome.
Yes. It was the old Roadrunner chick where it's just painted over, and actually it doesn't exist at all. You just got to believe.
Yeah, you just got to believe.
So, yeah, very convenient opening, and, of course, it goes straight to the turbinian reactor. And this is where he starts kind of explaining, because again, the memory.
Junk. Even the director was like, "This is nonsense."
Yeah,
this is junk science. So apparently, the core of Mars is a glacier.
Yes,
and they have these reactors that if they stick them, they're like big giant metal rod reactors, nuclear reactors,
and they heat them up super hot, and stick them in the glacier,
and that's going to cause steam and to create an atmosphere. Okay, here's the thing. Okay, I'm assuming the glacier is made out of water, correct?
That's
H2O.
Yes.
We breathe mostly nitrogen and oxygen.
Yeah.
So this would do absolutely fuck all.
It would make it steamy.
It would make it steamy.
It would
for a while.
It would turn into Penitentiary 3.
What? So, it's well, I even checked. I called my man Neil deGrasse Tyson. I was like, "Is this?"
You called Neil? Because I called my Neil Breen, and he said this is exactly how it works.
Oh, no, Degrassi, he's 6. I call him Degrassi.
Yeah.
He's like, "No, this is bullshit.
Yeah.
This wouldn't happen."
So I'm going to go ahead and say it. We should have had Breen and Degrassi on because they could have duked it out. We'll do that for a tippy tap. We'll have Breen and Neil deGrasse on to argue the signs of this movie. But all I know is this is very familiar to Highlander 2 for me. Because, again, life-saving thing being hoarded by a corporation. This is just like how Nestle's trying
That's
to get...
very similar to life, Chris.
Yeah,
mean,
I was just going to say,
too.
they're trying to open up a stock investment option for water. That's going to be a commodity you can invest in.
Yeah, I can't wait for wars on water.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. I guess it'll...
Well, they're stealing all our fucking water.
Yeah, they absolutely are, because it's like... Yeah.
And then fucking people in Flint are drinking piss water.
Yes, everybody. People in Flint are still drinking bottled water.
Oh. But it's... Yeah, I love how they did a commercial where they were like bragging how they're donating our fucking water from Lake Huron to the people in Flint. Like, we're supposed to be like, thank you, Nestle.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Nestle.
Yeah, it's the silliest virtue signaling. Like, do all the wrong things, but make a commercial patting yourself on the back. It's like Kroger and all the grocery stores. I'm sorry, when the pandemic hit and they're like, these are the heroes. What happened to heroes? Nothing, because they. Oh, I hate everybody. I hate it.
People suck, but this movie doesn't.
Yeah.
So, once we always point out, Richard's always one step behind, so he finally shows up to the reactor area.
Of course.
Surrounds them. It's just there's like these huge columns everywhere everyone can hide behind.
Yeah.
And they got our boy Quaid pinned down.
They
They're
got him
surrounded.
trapped. Well, he was just standing in the middle of the columns like an idiot. Like, you should make yourself scarce here. You know, there's one of you against an army,
and they just open fire on Quaid, like from all sides.
Oh yeah, they surround him completely.
And he's like, because he's like, they're like, fuck, we just put 5 million bullets into this.
And they
guy.
counted like a Highlander.
It was like hard target. It was like
Yeah.
they had those kind of guns. So
Yeah.
100 bullets for a clip. And it's like, it turns out, guys, remember earlier that hologram watch?
Yep.
Okay, we pointed out they're surrounded.
Yes.
So they're shooting at each other.
They should. Yeah, they should
have killed all of them, each other, but no. For some reason, it's a hard hologram. I guess.
Yeah.
It absorbs bullets.
So Arnold just.
By the way, why does everybody in movies, like it's always a bad guy? They have the fucking bulletproof vests that never work. What's the point of wearing the bulletproof vest?
I was just gonna ask, but again, we don't know what gun he has, so maybe it has some crazy armor-piercing rounds. Which why would their armor not be equipped for their own weapons? You think it would be? That might explain why. Murray, they shot each other in the bulletproof vest, but now the bulletproof vests are compromised. That was the trick of the hologram. All their armors are compromised. So when Arnold peers around the corner here and takes out, there was probably 20 guys here, takes out about 15 of them, it's because their armor was compromised.
Okay.
Sure. We're going to have to go with it because Arnold just pops up and goes, here I am, and shoots at them. And like I said,
Right.
he kills 15 of them.
Yeah, they just do it. It's like nonstop cat and mouse. He's like, this is fun. He gives it to Melina. She does her thing.
Yeah. You think this is the real Quaid? He does it twice where he walks out, except this time it's really him. Right. And he laughs. Murray, you had to love this because we've been seeing it on the telecommunicators for the longest time. He walks out. The guys are to his right, but he looks straight ahead and he goes, ha 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 ha, you think this is the real Quaid? And then he turns to them and goes, it is, and shoots. I love that he actually turned just like the telecommunicator. But he gives it to...
There had to be a turn coordinator in this movie. Like, make sure everyone does it.
Oh,
so then I think Rick... Who runs to the elevator? Doug? I think Richter pinned him down or something.
Richter tries to make a getaway.
He makes the getaway. I thought Doug made the getaway, but it's Richter.
Richter's trying to make the getaway. He runs to the elevator. He hits it. It starts going up slowly, but fucking dog, he's got a head of steam going here, and he jumps up and manages to jump on the elevator. And so they start duking it out. Yeah. But
come on, I mean, as much as we love Ironside, he's not going to last in a fight with Schwarzenegger because he gets pummeled.
Yeah.
And then he gets thrown off, but he grabs the edge of the elevator. Because it's an open elevator.
He grabs hold of Arnold.
Right.
And so he's got a hold on Arnold's wrists and everything.
And he's like, you're coming with me, motherfucker.
Yeah, he's like, I'm going to drag you down to fucking hell with me. And then Arnold looks up and sees that the elevator is about to go into a structural tube, concrete. So he's like, no, you're not. And he pulls back, just holds his hands,
right? And
then Ironside's arms get ripped off, like from his elbow.
Right, he gets disarmed, and then he got that should have been the line, but he's like, "See you at the party."
See you at the party.
And that was kind of limp dick. And so yeah, we fucking now he gets his arms ripped off. He falls like 100 feet and splatters.
Yes.
So Doug and Melina, they finally get to that little reactor.
Well, Melina's not there.
She's not there?
Nope.
They get to the reactor thing. That's a little dome with the handprint on it.
Yeah.
And he knows he's got to put his hand there. I don't know why a human hand would activate. Apparently any hand.
I don't know why they put the handprint on there if it wasn't like you need to be an alien. Because I was like, wait, does that match Kuato's hand? Maybe.
This was too small.
Yeah. Anyways.
And he's just about to push it. And then Cohagen shows up out of nowhere.
Yeah. And again, we've already talked about the mind fuckery. Again, PKD inspired. So there's a lot of, are you dreaming? Are you not dreaming? Christopher Nolan completely ripped this off.
Well, Cohagen's like, no! He's like, you're going to destroy Mars. All that turbanium's going to go to waste. Because all he's thinking about is fucking profits, man.
Right. He's trying to be just like, no, trickle-down economics works. If you just give it to them, they're not going to work for it. You got to have these people working for it.
And it's almost working on Doug.
Yeah, he is dumbfounded by this a lot. Like, I don't know, maybe he's really trying to process it. He's like, none of this makes sense to me. This is the dumbest logic I've ever heard.
Thankfully, Mel breaks him out of it by shooting Cohagen.
Yeah, she wasn't going up the elevator, so she had to wait for it to come back down, giving Cohagen enough time to just like fill poor old Doug's head with all these dumb ideas. Ugh, poor old Doug. But yeah, so Cohog apparently had like a bomb on him.
Yes, a bomb and a detonator. So that wouldn't like fuck up Mars, like blowing up this thing, but apparently touching it would.
Yeah, apparently it wasn't enough of a big enough explosion, but it blows a hole in a wall that happens to be an outer.
It doesn't
wall?
blow a hole. It's like an air shaft.
Okay, it was
and
an air
Doug
shaft.
throws it.
Okay,
after he gets shot, because he was going to threaten to blow up the place until Melina shot him.
Okay,
and so let's point out, like Cohagen, he's like 70-year-old man,
shot
multiple times, yet he still has the strength to hold. Because once again, even the air shaft had just like a little thin strip of glass sealing it off.
Yep.
This explosion blew it up, so now they're being sucked like in a vacuum out. They're hanging on. It was nice that they put rails around the little like.
They were thinking.
Yeah, they were thinking. Safety first.
You got to have rails. OSHA came to Mars millions of years ago.
Yeah. At least half a million, 500 million.
At least half a million. Yeah.
And so they're all like getting sucked out or getting pulled on.
Yes.
And I think Cohagen gets sucked out first.
He does.
And we get the nice fucking practical special effects where his eyes are fucking shooting out of his head, his tongue's...
Yeah, we see him on Mars' surface with all that shit happening to him.
And then fucking Doug is like... Grrr! And he puts his hand and it fits perfectly.
Yep, of course. It does.
Like a glove.
Like a glove.
And then all of a sudden, fucking the machines start working. That's pretty good, like... craftsmanship, like 500,000 years still works.
Yeah,
dwarves from Lord of the Rings must have put it together.
It's a very simple design, but it's just a giant.
Yeah, it's just giant nuclear rods that sink into a glacier, and then steam is everywhere. Midnight thuds lurking in the background.
You just hear chomping on oranges. Oh god!
And that distracts our hero, so they get sucked into the tube and go out to the surface of Mars too. And they're out there. I don't know. I think you'd last maybe a few seconds. I don't know. I've never tested my metal on a vacuum of space, how long I could last. I don't think you could struggle for like 2 minutes like they do.
No.
But they're...
We're just seeing domes exploding, air rushing in.
Steam everywhere.
Yeah, atmosphere changing slowly. We cut back to them.
No, not changing slowly at all. We get a full-blown atmosphere in a minute.
Yeah.
A breathable Earth-like atmosphere in a minute.
And so the sun happens to come out. Mars is no longer red. It looks like they're in the Grand Canyon now because you still have all that rocky terrain and giant mining, expeditions and all that. And Quaid and Melina get up and they go to a nice cliffside. They're fine now.
No worse for wear at all.
No.
You think it's still, even if you survived, you'd be fucked up by it. You'd
like
be
their eyes would still be bulged
Well, you
out.
at least be in pain.
Horrible pain.
You wouldn't just be like, hey, that was fucking weird, wasn't it?
Yeah. And, they're standing over, looking at the sun.
People in Sector 8 are, like, coming to.
Yeah, Sector G, Murray.
Sector G, I'm sorry.
The only sector we care about in this movie. Yeah, and, just to close it off, they're staring off, and he's just like, It's like a dream. And she tells him, "Come here and kiss me." But what if it is a dream? Again, this is something.
According to Paul Verhoeven, it is a dream, and at the end he gets lobotomized.
I like it. I like that ending
because he said it fades to white, not black.
Good call.
And
Okay,
that's what it symbolizes.
Interesting. Because after I watched this the second time, I was like, "Wait a minute," because I didn't notice that Melina was A41. So I was like, "Wait, everything is just fitting together too well," and I like it because it's an action movie. And
Verhoeven points out when he's talking to McClane at Recall, he explains the entire plot of the movie in that thing.
He does, yeah, doesn't he?
So he's like, you've never seen this in a movie. Someone explains the entire movie at the beginning of the movie, and it all happens.
Yeah, I love it. I love this movie. This is like my favorite kind of sci-fi, where it's just like not super, like we were talking earlier, super sleek. It's just gnarly and industrial, full of rich assholes who try to hoard wealth. Oh, I love it.
So, Merry Christmas, everybody. We had to give you a special one for Christmas. And it doesn't get more special.
And if you haven't enjoyed this, you already did, I know, but make sure to go back and listen to the Tippy Tap. Did a beautiful Tippy Tap. Couple episodes of Happy Days there.
Made me feel proud to be an American, those episodes.
Oh, my God. Happy Days is just a wonderful show.
It was. I enjoyed myself. I hadn't seen that show in decades, and I was like,
Me neither.
I was like, you know what? This shit's corny, but it holds up. I enjoyed it.
It's fantastic. So listen to that.
Listen to that. After you listen to this. Speaking of listening, next week, we've done sci-fi. We've done fantasy. We've done sci-fi. We have to do fantasy again.
Yep. Got to go back to fantasy.
And we're going to do... you know what? We don't get a lot of view or listens to these, but I don't care because I love Italian schlock. So we're going to do a little movie called Conquest. Mainly because it's 90 minutes.
Oh, we've been doing so many 2 hours. We're going 90.
And I haven't seen it in a while, but I'm guessing it's a pretty simple plot.
I'm guessing
it's Italian schlock. From the man himself, Lucio Fulci, who's known... If you've ever seen Zombie, the movie where a zombie fights a shark, a real-life shark, that's Lucio Fulci. So you know there's going to be gore, you know nothing's going to make sense, and it's all going to look cheap as fuck.
Like it.
So we'll see you next week for Conquest, and have Merry Christmas, and keep it warm.